Oh, don't tempt me, baby. I can't. Not yet. Because I'm not going to touch you, Anastasia, not until I have your written consent to do so. What does that mean? Exactly what I say. I need to show you, Anastasia, so you know what you're getting yourself into. What time do you finish work this evening? About 8? Well, we could go to Seattle this evening or next Saturday for dinner at my place, and I'll acquaint you with the facts then. The choice is yours. Why can't you tell me now? Because I'm enjoying my breakfast in your company. Once you're enlightened, you probably won't want to see me again. She frowns as she processes what I've said. Tonight, she says. Whoa. That didn't take long. Like Eve, you're so quick to eat from the tree of knowledge, I taunt her. Are you smirking at me, Mr. Gray? She asks. I look at her through narrow eyes. Okay, baby. You asked for this. I pick up my phone and press Taylor on speed dial. He answers almost immediately. Mr. Gray? Taylor, I'm gonna need Charlie Tango. She watches me closely as I make arrangements to bring my EC 135 to Portland. I'll show her what I have in mind, and the rest will be up to her. She may want to come home once she knows. I'll need Stefan, my pilot, to be on standby so he can bring her back to Portland if she decides to have nothing more to do with me. I hope that's not the case. And it dawns on me. I'm thrilled that I can take her to Seattle and Charlie Tango. It'll be a first. Standby pilot from 2230. Ugh. I confirm with Taylor and hang up. Do people always do what you tell them? She asks, and the disapproval in her voice is obvious. Is she scolding me now? Her challenge is annoying. Usually, if they want to keep their jobs. Don't question how I treat my staff. And if they don't work for you, she adds. Oh, I can be very persuasive, Anastasia. You should finish your breakfast, and then I'll drop you off at home. I'll pick you up at Clayton's at 8 when you finish. We'll fly up to Seattle. Fly? Yes. I have a helicopter. Her mouth drops open, forming a small O. It's a pleasing moment. We'll go by helicopter to Seattle, she whispers. Yes. Why? Because I can. I grin. Sometimes it's just fucking great to be me. Finish your breakfast. She seems stunned. Eat. My voice is more forceful. Anastasia, I have an issue with wasted food. Eat. I can't eat all this. She studies all the food on the table. And I feel guilty once more. Yes, there is too much food here. Eat what's on your plate. If you'd eaten properly yesterday, you wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be declaring my hand so soon. Hell. This could be a huge mistake. She gives me a sideways look as she chases her food around on the plate with a fork and her mouth twitches. What's so funny? She shakes her head and pops the last piece of pancake into her mouth, and I try not to laugh. As ever, she surprises me. She's awkward, unexpected, and disarming. She really makes me want to laugh, and what's more, it's at myself. Good girl, I mutter. I'll take you home when you've dried your hair. I don't want you getting ill. You'll need all your strength for tonight, for what I have to show you. Suddenly she gets up from the table and I have to stop myself from telling her that she doesn't have permission. She's not your submissive yet, Gray. On the way back to the bedroom, she pauses by the sofa. Where did you sleep last night? She asks. In my bed. With you. Oh. Yes. It was quite a novelty for me, too. Not having sex? She said the S word. And the telltale pink appears on her cheeks. No. How can I tell her this without sounding weird? Just tell her, Gray. Sleeping with someone. Nonchalantly, I turned my attention back to the sports section and the write-up on last night's game, then watch as she disappeared into the bedroom. No, that didn't sound weird at all. Well, I have another date with Miss Steele. No, not a date. She needs to know about me. I let out a long breath and drink what's left of my orange juice. This is shaping up to be a very interesting day. I'm pleased when I hear the buzz of the hairdryer and surprised that she's doing what she's been told. While I'm waiting for her, I phone the valet to bring my car up from the garage and check her address once more on Google Maps. Next, I text Andrea to send me an NDA via email. If Anna wants enlightenment, she'll need to keep her mouth shut. My phone buzzes. It's Roz. As I'm on the phone, Anna emerges from the bedroom and picks up her purse. Roz is talking about Darfur, but my attention is on Miss Steele. She rummages around in her purse and she's pleased to find a hair tie. Her hair is beautiful, lush, long, thick. Idly, I wonder what it would be like to braid. She ties it back and puts it on her jacket and then sits down on the sofa, waiting for me to finish my call. Okay, let's do it. Keep me abreast of progress. I conclude my conversation with Roz. She's been working miracles, and it looks like our food shipment to Darfur is happening. Ready to go? I ask Anna. She nods. I grab my jacket and car keys and follow her out the door. She peeks at me through long lashes as we walk toward the elevator. Her lips curl into a shy smile. My lips twitch in response. What the hell is she doing to me? The elevator arrives and I allow her to step in first. I press the first floor button and the door closes. In the confines of the elevator, I'm completely aware of her. A trace of her sweet fragrance invades my senses. Her breathing alters, hitching a little, and she peeks up at me with a bright, come-hither look. Shit. She bites her lip. She's doing this on purpose. and for a split second I'm lost in her sensual, mesmerizing stare. She doesn't back down. I'm hard. Instantly. I want her. Here. Now. In the elevator. Oh, fuck the paperwork. The words come from nowhere, and I, on instinct, grab her and push her against the wall. Clasping both her hands, I pin them above her head so she can't touch me, and once she's secure, I twist my other hand in her hair while my lips seek and find hers. She moans into my mouth the call of a siren, and finally I can sample her. Mint and tea and an orchard of mellow fruitfulness. She tastes every bit as good as she looks, reminding me of a time of plenty. Good Lord, I'm yearning for her. I grasp her chin, deepening the kiss, and her tongue tentatively touches mine, exploring, considering, feeling, kissing me back. Oh, God in heaven, you are so sweet, I murmur against her lips. Completely intoxicated, punch-drunk with her scent and taste, the elevator stops, and the doors begin to open. Get a fucking grip, Gray. I push myself off her and stand beyond her reach. She's breathing hard, as am I. When was the last time I lost control? 3 businessmen give us knowing looks as they join us. And I stare at the poster that's above the buttons in the elevator advertising a central weekend at the Heathman. I glance at Anna and exhale. She grins, and my lips twitch once more. What the fuck has she done to me? The elevator stops at the 2nd floor, and the guys get out, leaving me alone with Miss Steele. You've brushed your teeth, I observe with wry amusement. I used your toothbrush, she says, eyes shining. Of course she has. And for some reason I find this pleasing. Too pleasing. I stifle my smile. Oh, Anastasia Steele, what am I going to do with you? I take her hand as the elevator doors open on the ground floor, and I mutter under my breath. What is it about elevators? She gives me a knowing look as we stroll across the polished marble of the lobby. The car is waiting in one of the bays in the front of the hotel. The valet is pacing impatiently. I give him an obscene tip and open the passenger door for Anna, who is quiet and introspective. But she hasn't run, even though I jumped her in the elevator. I should say something about what happened in there, but what? Sorry? How was that for you? What the hell are you doing to me? I started the car and decided that the less said, the better. The soothing sound of Delibes' flower duet fills the car, and I begin to relax. What are we listening to? Anna inquires, as I turn onto Southwest Jefferson Street. I tell her and ask her if she likes it. Christian, it's wonderful. To hear my name on her lips is a strange delight. She's said it about 6 times now, and each time it's different. Today, it's with wonder at the music. It's great that she likes this piece. It's one of my favorites. I find myself beaming. She's obviously excused me for the elevator outburst. Can I hear that again? Of course. I tap the touchscreen to replay the music. You like classical music? She asks, as we cross the Fremont Bridge, and we fall into an easy conversation about my taste in music. While we're talking, I get a call on the hands-free. Gray, I answer. Mr. Gray, it's, Welch here. I have the information you require. Well, yes, details about the photographer. Good. Email it to me. Anything to add? No, sir. I press the button, and the music is back. We both listen, now lost in the raw sound of the Kings of Leon. But it doesn't last long. Our listening pleasure is disturbed once more by the hands-free. What the hell? Gray, I snap. The NDA has been emailed to you, Mr. Gray. Good. That's all, Andrea. Good day, sir. I sneak a look at Anna to see if she's picked up on that conversation, but she's studying the Portland scenery. I suspect she's being polite. It's difficult to keep my eyes on the road. I want to stare at her. For all her malageritis, she has a beautiful neckline. One that I'd like to kiss from the bottom of her right ear down to her shoulder. Hell, I shuffle in my seat. I hope she agrees to sign the NDA and to take what I have to offer. When we join I-5, I get another call. It's Elliot. Hey, Christian. Did you get laid? Oh, smooth, dude, smooth. Hello, Elliot. I'm on speakerphone, and I'm not alone in the car. Who's with you? Anastasia Steele. Hi, Anna. Hello, Elliot, she says, animated. Heard a lot about you, Elliot says. Shit, what has he heard? Don't believe a word Kate says, she responds good-naturedly. Elliot laughs. I'm dropping Anastasia off now. Shall I pick you up? I interject. There's no doubt Elliot will want to make a quick getaway. Sure. See you shortly. I hang up. Why do you insist on calling me Anastasia? She asks. Because it's your name? I prefer Anna. Do you now? Anna is too everyday and ordinary for her, and too familiar. Those 3 letters have the power to wound. And in that moment, I know that her rejection, when it comes, will be hard to take. It's happened before, but I've never felt this. Invested. I don't even know this girl, but I want to know her, all of her. Maybe it's because I've never chased a woman. Gray, get control of yourself and follow the rules, otherwise this will all go to shit. Anastasia, I say, ignoring her disapproving look. What happened in the elevator, it won't happen again. Well, not unless it's premeditated. That keeps her quiet as I park outside her apartment. Before she can answer me, I climb out of the car, walk around, and open her door. As she steps out onto the sidewalk, she gives me a fleeting glance. I liked what happened in the elevator, she says. You did. Her confession halts me in my tracks. I'm pleasantly surprised again by little Miss Steele. As she walks up the steps of the front door, I have to scramble to keep up with her. Elliot and Kate look up when we enter. They're sitting at the dining table in a sparsely furnished room, befitting a couple of students. There are a few packing boxes besides a bookshelf. Elliot looks relaxed and not in a hurry to leave, which surprises me. Kavanaugh jumps up and gives me a critical once-over as she hugs Anna. What did she think I was going to do to the girl? I know what I'd like to do to her. As Kavanaugh holds her at arm's length, I'm reassured. Maybe she does care for Anna too. Good morning, Christian, she says, her tone cool and condescending. Miss Kavanaugh. And what I want to say is something sarcastic about how she's finally showing some interest in her friend, but I hold my tongue. Christian. Her name is Kate, Elliot says with mild irritation. Kate, I mutter to be polite. Elliot hugs Anna, holding her a moment too long. Hi, Anna, he says, all fucking smiles. Hi, Elliot, she beams. Okay, this is becoming unbearable. Elliot, we better go. And take your hands off her. Sure, he says, releasing Anna but grabbing Kavanaugh and making an unseemly show of kissing her. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Anna's uncomfortable watching them. I don't blame her, but when she turns to me, it's with a speculative look through narrowed eyes. What is she thinking? Laters, baby, Elliot mutters, slobbering over Kavanaugh. Dude, show some dignity for heaven's sake. Anna's reproachful eyes are on me, and for a moment I don't know if it's because of Elliot and Kate's lavishly display, or... Hell. This is what she wants. To be courted and wooed. I don't do romance, sweetheart. A lock of her hair has broken free, and without thinking, I tuck it behind her ear. She leans her face into my fingers, the tender gesture surprising me. My thumb strays to her soft bottom lip, which I'd like to kiss again, but I can't. Not until I have her consent. Laters, baby, I whisper. And her face softens with a smile. I'll pick you up at 8. Reluctantly, I turn away and open the front door, Elliot behind me. Man, I need some sleep, Elliot says as soon as we're in the car. That woman is voracious. Really? My voice drips with sarcasm. The last thing I want is a blow-by-blow account of his assignation. How about you, hotshot? Did she pop your cherry? I give him a sideways fuck-off glare. Elliot laughs. Man, you are one uptight son of a bitch. He pulls up his sounder's cap over his face and nestles down in his seat for a nap. I turn up the volume of the music. Sleep through that, Elliot. Yeah, I envy my brother. His ease with women, his ability to sleep, and the fact that he's not the son of a bitch. Jose Luis Rodriguez background check reveals a ticket for possession of marijuana. There is nothing in his police records for sexual harassment. Maybe last night would have been a first if I hadn't intervened. And the little prick smokes weed. I hope he doesn't smoke around Anna. And I hope she doesn't smoke, period. Opening Andrea's email, I send the NDA to the printer in my study at home in Escala. Anna will need to sign it before I show her my playroom. And in a moment of weakness, or hubris, or perhaps unprecedented optimism, I don't know which, I fill in her name and address on my standard dub sub contract and send that to print too. There's a knock at the door. "Hey, hotshot, let's go hiking," Elliot says through the door. Ah, the child has woken from his nap. The scent of pine, fresh damp earth, and late spring is a balm to my senses. The smell reminds me of those heady days of my childhood, running through a forest with Elliot and my sister Mia under the watchful eyes of our adoptive parents. The quiet, the space, the freedom, the scrunch of dry pine needles underfoot. Here in the great outdoors, I could forget. Here was a refuge from my nightmares. Elliot chatters away, needing only the occasional grunt from me to keep talking, and as we make our way along the pebbled shore of the Willamette, my mind strays to Anastasia. For the first time in a long time, I have a sweet sense of anticipation. I'm excited. Will she say yes to my proposal? I picture her sleeping beside me, soft and small, and my cock twitches with expectation. I could have woken her and fucked her right then. What a novelty that would have been. I'll fuck her in time. I'll fuck her bound and with her smart mouth gagged. Clayton's is quiet. The last customer left 5 minutes ago, and I'm watching again, drumming my fingers on my thigh. Patience is not my forte. Even the long hike with Elliot today had not dampened my restlessness. He's having dinner with Kate this evening at the Heathman. 2 dates on consecutive nights is not his usual style. Suddenly, the fluorescent lights inside the store flicker off. The front door opens, and Anna steps out into the mild Portland evening. My heart begins to hammer. This is it. Either the beginning of a new relationship or the beginning of the end. She waves goodbye to a young man who's followed her out. It's not the same man that I met last time. I notice it's someone new. He watches her walk toward the car, his eyes on her ass. Taylor distracts me by making a move to climb out of the car, but I stop him. This is my call. When I'm out of the car, opening the door for her, the new guy is locking up the store and no longer ogling Miss Steele. Her lips curve into a shy smile as she approaches, her hair in a jaunty ponytail swinging in the evening breeze. "Good evening, Miss Steele." "Mr. Gray," she says. She's dressed in black jeans. Jeans again? She greets Taylor as she climbs into the back seat of the car. Once I'm beside her, I clasp her hand, while Taylor pulls out of the empty road and heads to the Portland helipad. "How was work?" I ask, enjoying the feel of her hand in mine. "Very long," she says, her voice husky. "Yes, it's been a long day for me, too. It's been hell waiting the last couple of hours." "What did you do?" she asks. "I went hiking with Elliot." Her hand is warm and soft. She glances down at her joined fingers, and I brush her knuckles with my thumb, over and over. Her breath catches, and her eyes meet mine. In them I see her longing and desire, and her sense of anticipation. I just hope she accepts my proposition. Mercifully, The drive to the helipad is short. When we're out of the car, I take her hand again. She looks a little perplexed. She's wondering where the helicopter might be. Ready? I ask. She nods, and I lead her into the building towards the elevator. She gives me a quick, knowing look. She's remembering the kiss from this morning. But then, so am I. It's only 3 floors, I mutter. As we stand inside, I make a mental note to fuck her in the elevator one day. That's if she agrees to my deal. On the roof, Charlie Tango, newly arrived from Boeing Field, is prepped and ready to fly, though there's no sign of Stefan, who's brought her down here. But Joe, who runs the helipad in Portland, is in the small office. He salutes me when I see him. He's older than my grandpa, and what he doesn't know about flying is not worth knowing. He flew Sikorsky's in Korea for casualty evacuation, and boy, does he have some hair-raising stories. "Here's your flight plan, Mr. Gray," Joe says, his gravelly voice betraying his age. "All external checks are done. She's ready and waiting, sir. You're good to go." "Thank you, Joe." Quick glance at Anna tells me that she's excited, and so am I. This is a first. Let's go. With her hand in mine once more, I lead Anna over to the helipad to Charlie Tango. The safest Eurocopter in her class and a delight to fly. She's my pride and joy. I hold the door open for Anna. She scrambles inside, and I climb in behind her. "Over there," I order, pointing to the front passenger seat. "Sit. Don't touch anything." I'm amazed when she does as she's told. Once in her seat, she examines the array of instruments with a mixture of awe and enthusiasm. Crouching down beside her, I strap her into the seat harness, trying not to imagine her naked as I do so. I take a little longer than necessary because this might be my last chance to be this close to her. My last chance to inhale her sweet, evocative scent. Once she knows about my predilections, she might flee. On the other hand, she may embrace the lifestyle. The possibility this conjures in my mind are almost overwhelming. She's watching me intently. She's so close, so lovely. I tighten the last strap. She's not going anywhere. Not for an hour, at least. Suppressing my excitement, I whisper, "You're secure. No escaping." She inhales sharply. "Breathe, Anastasia," I add, and caress her cheek. Holding her chin, I lean down and kiss her quickly. "I like this harness," I mutter. I want to tell her I have others in leather in which I'd like to see her trussed and suspended from the ceiling. But I behave, sit down, and buckle up. "Put your cans on." I point to the headset in front of Anna. "I'm just going through the pre-flight checks. All instruments look good." I press the throttle to 1,500 RPM. Transponder to standby, and position beacon on. Everything is set and ready to go. "Do you know what you're doing?" she asks with wonder. I inform her that I have been fully qualified pilot for 4 years. Her smile is infectious. "You're safe with me," I reassure her, and add, "Well, while we're flying." I give her a wink. She beams, and I'm dazzled. "Are you ready?" I ask, and I can't believe how excited I am to have her here besides me. She nods. I talk to the tower. They're awake and increase the throttle to 2000 RPM. Once they've given us a clearance, I do my final checks. Oil temperature at 104, good. Increase the manifold pressure to 14. The engine is at 2500 RPM, and pull back on the throttle. And like the elegant bird she is, Charlie Tango rises into the air. Anastasia gasps as the ground disappears below us, and she holds her tongue, entranced by the waning lights of Portland. Soon we are shrouded in darkness. The only light emanates from the instruments before us. Anna's face is illuminated by the red and green glow as she stares into the night. Eerie, isn't it? Though I don't find it so. To me, this is a comfort. Nothing can harm me here. I'm safe and hidden in the dark. How do you know you're going the right way? Anna asks. Here. I point to the panel. I don't want to bore her talking about the instrument flight rules, but the fact is, it's all the equipment in front of me that guides us to our destination. The altitude indicator, the altimeter, the VSI, and of course the GPS. I tell her about Charlie Tango and how she's equipped for night flight. Anna looks at me amazed. There's a helipad on the top of the building I live in. That's where we're heading. I look back at the panel, checking all the data. This is what I love. The control. My safety and well-being reliant on my mastery of the technology in front of me. When you fly at night, you fly blind. You have to trust the instrumentation, I tell her. How long will the flight be? She asks, a little breathless. Less than an hour. The wind is in our favor. I glance at her again. You okay, Anastasia? Yes, she says, her voice oddly abrupt. Is she nervous? Or maybe she's regretting her decision to be here with me. The thought is unsettling. She hasn't given me a chance. I'm distracted by air traffic control for a moment, then as we clear cloud cover, I see Seattle in the distance, a beacon blazing in the dark. Look over there. I direct Anna's attention to the bright lights. Do you always impress women this way? Hey, come and fly in my helicopter? I've never brought a girl up here, Anastasia. It's another first for me. Are you impressed? I'm odd, Christian, she whispers. Odd. My smile is spontaneous, and I remember Grace, my mother, stroking my hair as I read out loud from the once and future king. Christian, that was wonderful. I'm odd, darling boy. I was 7 and had only recently started speaking. You're just so competent, Anna continues. Why, thank you, Miss Steele. My face warms with pleasure at her unexpected praise. I hope she doesn't notice. You obviously enjoy this, she says a little later. What? Flying. It requires control and concentration, 2 qualities I most enjoy. How could I not love it, though my favorite is soaring? Soaring? Yes, gliding to the lay person. Gliders and helicopters. I fly them both. Perhaps I should take her soaring. Getting ahead of yourself, Gray. And since when do you take anyone soaring? Since when do I bring anyone in Charlie Tango? ATC refocuses me on the flight path, halting my rogue thoughts as we approach the outskirts of Seattle. We're close, and I'm closer knowing whether this is a pipe dream or not. Anna is staring out the window, entranced. I keep my eyes off of her. Please say yes. Looks good, doesn't it? I ask. And so that she'll turn and I can see her face. She does, with a huge, cock-tightening grin. We'll be there in a few minutes, I add. Suddenly the atmosphere in the cabin shifts, and I have a more heightened awareness of her. Breathing deeply, I inhale her scent, and the sense of the anticipation. Anna's mine. As we descend, I take Charlie Tango through the downtown area toward Escala, my home, and my heart rate increases. Anna starts fidgeting. She's nervous too. I hope she doesn't flee. As the helipad comes into view, I take another deep breath. So this is it. We land smoothly and I power down, watching the rotor blades slow and come to a stop. All I can hear is the hiss of white noise over our headphones as we sit in silence. I remove my cans, then remove Anna's too. We're here, I say quietly. Her face is pale in the glow of the landing lights, her eyes luminous. Sweet Lord, she's beautiful. I unbuckle my harness and reach over to undo hers. She peers up at me, trusting, young, sweet. Her delicious scent is almost my undoing. Can I do this with her? She's an adult. She can make her own decisions. And I want her to look at me this way once she knows me, knows what I'm capable of. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. You know that, don't you? She needs to understand this. I want her submission, but more than anything, I want her consent. I'd never do anything I didn't want to, Christian. She sounds sincere, and I want to believe her. With those pacifying words ringing in my head, I climb out of my seat and open the door, then jump down onto the helipad. I take her hand as she exits the aircraft. The wind whips her hair around my face, and she looks anxious. I don't know if it's because she's here with me alone or if it's because we're 30 stories high. I know it's a giddy feeling being up here. Come, wrapping my arm around her to shield her from the wind, I guide her to the elevator. We are both quiet as we make the short journey to the penthouse. She's wearing a pale green shirt beneath her black jacket. It suits her. I make a mental note to include blues and greens in the clothes I'll provide if she agrees to my terms. She should be better dressed. Her eyes meet mine in the elevator's mirror as the doors open to my apartment. She follows me through the foyer, across the corridor, and into the living room. Can I get your jacket? I ask. Anna shakes her head and clutches the lapels to emphasize that she wants to keep her jacket on. Okay. Would you like a drink? I try a different approach and decide that I need a drink to steady my nerves. Why am I so nervous? Because I want her. I'm going to have a glass of white wine. Would you like to join me? Yes, please, she says. In the kitchen, I slip off my jacket, open the wine fridge. A Sauvignon Blanc would be a good icebreaker. Pulling out a servable Pouillet foam, I watch Anna peer through the balcony doors at the view. When she turns and walks back toward the kitchen, I ask if she'd be happy with the wine I've selected. I know nothing about wine, Christian. I'm sure it will be fine. She sounds subdued. Shit. This isn't going well. She's overwhelmed. Is that it? I pour 2 glasses and walk to where she stands in the middle of my living room and looking every bit the sacrificial lamb. Gone is the disarming woman. She looks lost. Like me. Here. I hand her the glass and she immediately takes a sip, closing her eyes in obvious appreciation of the wine. When she lowers her glass, her lips are moist. Good choice, Gray. You're very quiet and you're not even blushing. In fact, I think this is the palest I've ever seen you, Anastasia. Are you hungry? She shakes her head and takes another sip. Maybe she's in need of some liquid courage, too. It's a very big place you have here, she says, voice timid. Big. Big. It's big. There's no arguing with that. It is more than 10,000 square feet. Do you play? She looks at the piano. Yes. Well? Yes. Of course you do. Is there anything you can't do well? Yes. A few things. Cook, tell jokes, make free and easy conversation with a woman I'm attracted to, be touched. Do you want to sit? I gesture towards the sofa. A brisk nod tells me that she does. Taking her hand, I lead her there, and she sits down, giving me an impish look. What's so amusing? I ask as I take a seat beside her. Why did you give me Tess of the D'Urbervilles, specifically? Oh. Where is this going? Well, you said you liked Thomas Hardy. Is that the only reason? I don't want to tell her that she has my first edition, and that it was a better choice than Jude the Obscure. It seemed appropriate. I could hold you to some impossibly high ideal like Angel Clare, or debase you completely like Alec d'Urberville. My voice and answer is truthful enough and has a certain irony to it. What I'm about to propose, I suspect, will be very far from her expectations. If there are only 2 choices, I'll take the debasement, she whispers. Damn. Isn't that what you want, Gray? Anastasia, stop biting your lip, please. It's very distracting. You don't know what you're saying. That's why I'm here, she says, her teeth leaving little indentations on a bottom lip moist with wine. And there she is, disarming once more, surprising me at every turn. My cock concurs. We are cutting to the chase of this deal, but before we explore the details, I need her to sign the NDA. I excuse myself and head into my study. The contract and NDA are already on the printer. Leaving the contract on my desk, I don't know if we'll ever get to it. I staple the NDA together and take it back to Anna. This is a non-disclosure agreement. I place it on the coffee table in front of her. She looks confused and surprised. My lawyer insists upon it, I add. If you're going for option 2, debasement, you'll need to sign this. And if I don't want to sign anything? Then it's Angel Claire High Ideals. Well, for most of the book anyway. And I won't be able to touch you. I'll send you home with Stefan, and I will try my very best to forget you. My anxiety mushrooms. This deal could all go to shit. What does this agreement mean? It means you cannot disclose anything about us. Anything. To anyone. She searches my face, and I don't know if she's confused or displeased. This could go either way. Okay, I'll sign, she says. Well, that was easy. I hand her my Mont Blanc, and she places the pen on the signature line. Aren't you even going to read it? I ask, suddenly annoyed. No. Anastasia, you should always read anything you sign. How could she be so foolish? Have her parents taught her nothing? Christian, what you fail to understand is that I wouldn't talk about us to anyone anyway, even Kate. So it's immaterial whether I sign an agreement or not. If it means so much to you or your lawyer, whom you obviously talk to, then fine, I'll sign. She has an answer for everything. It's refreshing. Fair point. Well made, Miss Steele, I note dryly. With a quick and disapproving glance, she signs. And before I begin my pitch, she asks, Does this mean you're going to make love to me tonight, Christian? What? Me? Make love? Oh, Gray. Let's dissuade her on this straight away. No, Anastasia, it doesn't. First, I don't make love. I fuck. Hard. She gasps. That's made her think. Second, there's a lot more paperwork to do, and third, you don't yet know what you're in for. You could still run from here screaming. Come, I want to show you my playroom. She's nonplussed, the little V forming between her brows. You want to play on your Xbox? I laugh out loud. Oh, baby. No, Anastasia. No Xbox, no PlayStation. Come. Standing, I offer her my hand, which she takes willingly. I lead her to the hallway and upstairs, where I stop outside the door to my playroom, my heart hammering in my chest. This is it. Pay or play. Have I ever been this nervous, realizing my desires depended on the turn of this key? I unlock the door, and in that moment I need to reassure her. You can leave any time. The helicopter is on standby to take you whenever you want to go. You can stay the night and go home in the morning. It's fine, whatever you decide. Just open the damn door, Christian, she says with a mulish expression and her arms crossed. This is the crossroads. I don't want her to run, but I've never felt this exposed. Even in Elena's hands, and I know it's because she knows nothing about the lifestyle. I open the door and follow her into my playroom. My safe place. The only place where I'm truly myself. Anna stands in the middle of the room, studying all the paraphernalia that is so much a part of my life. The floggers, the canes, the bed, the bench. She's silent, drinking it in, and all I hear is the deafening pounding of my heart as the blood rushes past my eardrums. Now you know. This is me. She turns and gives me a piercing stare as I wait for her to say something, but she prolongs my agony and walks farther into the room, forcing me to follow her. Her fingers trail over a suede flogger, one of my favorites. I tell her what it's called, but she doesn't respond. She walks over to the bed, her hands exploring, her fingers running over one of the carved pillars. Say something, I ask. Her silence is unbearable. I need to know if she's going to run. Do you do this to people, or do they do it to you? Finally. People, I want to snort. I do this to women who want me to. She's willing to have a dialogue. There's hope. She frowns. If you have willing volunteers, why am I here? Because I want to do this with you very much. Visions of her tied up in various positions around the room overwhelm my imagination. On the cross, on the bed, over the bench. Oh, she says, and wanders to the bench. My eyes are drawn to her inquisitive fingers stroking the leather. Her touch is curious, slow, and sensual. Is she even aware? You're a sadist, she says, startling me. Fuck. She sees me. I'm a dominant, I say quickly, hoping to move the conversation on. What does that mean? She inquires, shocked, I think. It means I want you to willingly surrender yourself to me, in all things. Why would I do that? To please me, I whisper. This is what I need from you. In very simple terms, I want you to want to please me. How do I do that? She breathes. I have rules, and I want you to comply with them. They are for your benefit and for your pleasure. If you can follow these rules to my satisfaction, I shall reward you. If you don't, I shall punish you. And you will learn. And I can't wait to train you in every way. She stares at the canes behind the bench. And where does all this fit in? She waves at her surroundings. It's all part of the incentive package, both reward and punishment. So you'll get your kicks by exerting your will over me? Spot on, Miss Steele. It's about gaining your trust and your respect. So you'll let me exert my will over you. I need your permission, baby. I will gain a great deal of pleasure, joy, even in your submission. The more you submit, the greater my joy. It's a very simple equation. Okay, And what do I get out of this? Me, I shrug. That's it, baby. Just me. All of me. And you'll find pleasure too. Her eyes widen fractionally as she stares at me, saying nothing. It's exasperating. You're not giving anything away, Anastasia. Let's go back downstairs where I can concentrate better. It's very distracting having you hidden here. I hold out my hand to her, and for the first time, she looks from my hand to my face, undecided. Shit. I've frightened her. I'm not going to hurt you, Anastasia. Tentatively, she puts her hand in mine. I'm elated. She hasn't run. Relieved, I decide to show her my submissive's bedroom. If you do this, let me show you. I lead her down the corridor. This will be your room. You can decorate it how you like, have whatever you like in here. My room? You're expecting me to move in? She squeaks in disbelief. Okay, maybe I should have left this until later. Not full time, I reassure her. Just say Friday evening through Sunday. We have to talk about all that. Negotiate. If you want to do this. I'll sleep here? Yes. Not with you. No. I told you, I don't sleep with anyone, except when you're stupefied with drink. Where do you sleep? My room is downstairs. Come, you must be hungry. Weirdly, I seem to have lost my appetite, she declares, with a familiar stubborn expression. You must eat, Anastasia. Her eating habits will be one of the first issues I'll work on if she agrees to be mine. That and her fidgeting. Stop getting ahead of yourself, Gray. I'm fully aware that this is a dark path I'm leading you down, Anastasia, which is why I really want you to think about this. She follows me downstairs into the living room once more. You must have some questions. You've signed your NDA. You can ask me anything you want and I'll answer. If this is going to work, she's going to have to communicate. In the kitchen, I open the fridge and find a large plate of cheese and some grapes. Gail wasn't expecting me to have company, and this is not enough. I wonder if I should order some takeout. Or perhaps take her out. Like a date? Another date? I don't want to raise expectations like that. I don't do dates. Only with her. The thought is irritating. There's a fresh baguette in the bread basket. Bread and cheese will have to do. Besides, she says she's not hungry. Sit. I point to one of the bar stools, and Anna sits down and gives me a level gaze. You mentioned paperwork, she says. Yes. What paperwork? Well, apart from the NDA, a contract saying that we will, what we will and won't do. I need to know your limits, and you need to know mine. This is consensual, Anastasia. And if I don't want to do this? Shit. That's fine, I lie. But then we won't have any sort of relationship. No. Why? This is the only sort of relationship I'm interested in. Why? It's the way I am. How did you become this way? Why is anyone the way they are? That's kind of hard to answer. Why do some people like cheese and other people hate it? Do you like cheese? Mrs. Jones, my housekeeper, has left this for a late supper. I place the plate in front of her. What are your rules that I have to follow? I have them written down. We'll go through them once we've eaten. I'm really not hungry. You will eat. The look she gives me is defiant. Would you like another glass of wine? I ask as a peace offering. Yes, please. I pour wine into her glass and sit down beside her. Help yourself to food, Anastasia. She takes a few grapes. That's it? That's all you're eating? Have you been like this for a while? She asks. Yes. Is it easy to find women who want to do this? Oh, if you only knew. You'd be amazed. My tone is wry. Then why me? I really don't understand. She's utterly bemused. Baby, you're beautiful. Why wouldn't I want to do this with you? Anastasia, I've told you. There's something about you. I can't leave you alone. I'm like a moth to a flame. I want you very badly, especially now when you're biting your lip again. I think you have that cliche the wrong way around, she says softly, and it's a disturbing confession. Eat, I order to change the subject. No, I haven't signed anything yet, so I think I'll hang on to my free will for a bit longer. That's okay with you. Oh, her smart mouth. As you wish, Miss Steele. And I hide my smirk. How many women? She asks, and she pops a grape into that mouth. 15. I have to look away. For long periods of time? Some of them, yes. Have you hurt anyone? Yes. Badly? No. Dawn was fine, if a little shaken by the experience, and if I'm honest, so was I. Will you hurt me? What do you mean? Physically, will you hurt me? Only what you can take. I will punish you when you require it, and it will be painful. For example, when you get drunk and put yourself at risk. Have you ever been beaten? She asks. Yes. Many, many times. Elena was devilishly handy with a cane. It's the only touch I could bear. Her eyes widen, and she puts the uneaten grapes on her plate and takes another sip of wine. Her lack of appetite is irritating and affecting mine. Perhaps I should just bite the bullet and show her the rules. Let's discuss this in my study. I want to show you something. She follows me and sits in the leather chair in front of my desk as I lean against it, arms folded. This is what she wants to know. It's a blessing that she's curious. She hasn't been run yet. It's a blessing that she's curious. She hasn't run yet. From the contract laid out on my desk, I take one of the pages and hand it to her. These are the rules. They may be subject to change. They form part of the contract which you can also have. Read these rules and let's discuss. Her eyes scan the page. Hard limits? She asks. Yes. What you won't do and what I won't do, we need to specify in our agreement. I'm not sure about accepting money for clothes. It feels wrong. I want to lavish money on you. Let me buy you some clothes. I may need you to accompany me to functions. Gray, what are you saying? This would be a first. And I want you dressed well. I'm sure your salary, when you do get a job, won't cover the kind of clothes I'd like you to wear. I don't have to wear them when I'm not with you? No. Okay. I don't want to exercise 4 times a week. Anastasia, I need you supple, strong, and with stamina. Trust me, you need to exercise. But surely 4 times a week. Not 4 times a week. How about 3? I want you to do 4. I thought this was a negotiation. Again, she's disarming, calling me out of my shit. Okay, Miss Steele. Another point well made. How about an hour on 3 days and 1 day half an hour? 3 days, 3 hours. I get the impression you're going to keep me exercised when I'm here. Oh, I hope so. Yes, I am. Okay, agreed. Are you sure you don't want to intern at my company? You're a good negotiator. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Of course, she's right. And it's my #1 rule. Never fuck the staff. So, limits. These are mine. I hand her the list. This is it. Shit or bust time. I know my limits by heart and mentally tick off the list as I watch her read through. Her face grows paler and paler as she nears the end. Fuck. I hope this isn't frightening her off. I want her. I want her submission. Badly. She swallows, glancing nervously up at me. How can I persuade her to give this a try? I should reassure her, show her that I'm capable of caring. Is there anything you'd like to add? Deep down, I hope she won't add anything. I want carte blanche with her. She stares at me, still at a loss for words. It's irritating. I'm not used to waiting for answers. Is there anything you won't do? I prompt. I don't know. Not the response I was expecting. What do you mean you don't know? She shifts in her seat, looking uncomfortable, her teeth toying with her bottom lip again. I've never done anything like this. Hell, of course she hasn't. Patience, Gray, for fuck's sakes. You've thrown a great deal of information at her. I continue my gentle approach. It's novel. Well, when you've had sex, was there anything that you didn't like doing? And I'm reminded of the photographer fumbling all over her yesterday. She flushes, and my interest is piqued. What has she done that she didn't like? Is she adventurous in bed? She seems so innocent. Normally, I don't find that attractive. You can tell me, Anastasia. We have to be honest with each other, or this isn't going to work. I really have to encourage her to loosen up. She won't even talk about sex. She's squirming again and staring at her fingers. Come on, Anna. Tell me, I order. Sweet Lord, she's frustrating.